Bathrooms are filthy. There is no way around it. But a microbiologist from the University of Arizona says that he would rather make a sandwich near the toilet than in most people's kitchens.
People know to use disinfectants and cleaners in the restroom. They don't use them as often in the kitchen area.
Dr. Charles Gerba is a professor of environmental science at the U of A. At his lab in Tucson, he studies how diseases are transmitted from one person to another, even in their own household.
I think the most important thing is disinfectant use both in the kitchen and in the toilet area is key. The rest of the house, I don't think you need to worry about as frequently, but it's those two areas in the average household.
Everyone's in and out the refrigerator, and come on, kids don't always wash their hands. So can you imagine they come out the bathroom and they go and touch the fridge, and then you go and touch the fridge? Makes sense.
In the kitchen, Dr. Gerba says the countertop, cutting board, and sink are the germiest and can make holiday guests sick faster than Santa's sleigh.
You'll find more fecal bacteria in the kitchen sponge than you will in a toilet. Why? Because it's wet and moist. You're wiping up food all the time, raw foods and meats which have fecal bacteria in them, and they grow.
The sponge, yes. I change mine every week and it's still,
Dr. Gerba recommends changing your sponge and washing your towels every 4 days. Use hot water and a sanitizer. You don't want to serve salmonella with your stuffing, so he recommends disposable disinfectant wipes for the counter.
Two reasons. One, you throw it away, and two, you're using the right amount of disinfectant. Most consumers don't use enough. They spray and wipe, and you really need a few minutes.
So what's the overall dirtiest item in the house? Surprisingly, it's not in the kitchen. And it's not the toilet seat, it's your bath mat.
Dang, I would never have thought of that one.
Kind of mind-blowing a little bit.
The bath mats, yeah. I certainly don't walk barefoot on them anymore. It really gets loaded with fecal bacteria. So we found if you have a mat on the bottom of the floor, you need to take that out maybe once a week and wash it because it gets really contaminated.
Even with the toilet lid down, Dr. Gerba says fecal matter sprays out sideways. He recommends cleaning the toilet and disinfecting bathroom surfaces every 3 days. That will help cut down on bacteria spreading to your holiday buffet. I'm Rebecca Taylor, 13 News.
And tomorrow night, we will talk germs and holiday travel. Rebecca shows us what the research says about airport, airliners, and the services you will want to avoid touching this holiday season. Well, many companies we interact with on a daily basis have found a new revenue stream selling their customers' data, with credit card data being particularly valuable to them. In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Carice Jackman spoke with a consumer advocacy group that highlighted one company with access to millions of people's financial habits, which they sell to third-party companies. Here's that story.
Credit cards, when used responsibly, can offer lucrative opportunities to build credit and earn rewards. But according to a report by the U.S. Public Interest Research Group, or PIRG, one particular company has increasingly capitalized on selling holder data it has access to on third-party marketplaces.
MasterCard sells transaction data for targeting ads and for marketing.
Tech advocate RJ Cross with US PIRG says MasterCard knows where people shop, how much they spend, even down to which days.
And it sells that information to third-party companies. It sells this info on these big online data marketplaces where companies can pay to access information about consumers and their spending behavior.
In a statement, a MasterCard representative said the company does not sell individual transaction data, while clarifying the company only analyzes anonymized purchase information, which are subject to established controls, so it can't be used to identify any individual card holders. To be fair, MasterCard is not the only company to do this, but Cross says in her report that MasterCard's position as a global payments technology company means it has access to a large amount of information from the financial lives of millions of people, the sale of which is almost entirely unregulated. She also says the exposure to targeted advertising can be bothersome to consumers.
Americans owe more money on their credit card debt than ever before. It's over $1 trillion, and interest rates are high right now. And so increasingly, this data-driven advertising may not be all that great for people in the long term. And it can also lead to some of those confusing, kind of creepy ads that seem to know exactly what you've bought and are following you around on all the screens in your life.
Cross also says selling data to third parties increases the personal security risk for consumers, as the more companies that hold the data, the more likely it is that information will end up being exposed in a breach or hack. So how can you avoid companies selling your data and these targeted ads that make it feel like someone is standing over your shoulder? Cross says in MasterCard's case, you can opt out of your data being used for analytics, though it's unclear to what extent this stops the company from monetizing your data. US Perk has a tips guide that outlines specifically how you can opt out. Cross also says, don't be afraid to speak up.
So definitely emailing MasterCard's privacy email and making your concerns known is a really powerful thing that people can do.
And if you're concerned about identity theft or fraud, you could consider freezing your credit. Simple steps you can take to protect your data from the world. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
And be sure to stick with us on weekday nights at 7 right here on 13 Plus. And be sure to join us tonight on 13 News Live at 10. For now, we will leave you with a live look of Tucson. Things looking gorgeous out there, a little chilly. I'm sure some of you saw that rain this morning and throughout the day. Be sure to stick with us and see what the forecast is going to bring for the rest of the week and into Christmas weekend. Have a great evening. We'll see you soon.